Pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm ready. Ready to go? Yeah, ready.
Home, so.
All right, and we're going. At 6 p.m. May 13th, 2025, open session with the Board of Directors, Parking Metropolitan. Go ahead, Jim.
First thing, resolution 25. This is, part of the housekeeping to remove the past two directors and add new directors and also fixing our accounts. Soon as, there's this paperwork and on minutes, then they are able to bring in the paperwork and we'll have everybody sign it so that we can sign checks for us.
I guess, we need to, introduction of the new board members in the meeting. Let's go right now so that when they ask questions, you know who it is.
I'll never start to read that.
Exactly.
Is that what you want?
Well, we can actually recognize the past board members at any time, but I'd like to recognize the new board.
Okay, hang on just a minute.
I got it. No, I got it.
So, coming on our report, we have new is Dream. And also Bob. So they are taking the place of Sarah. This year. Come on up.
Thank you.
For appreciation of your service with the board. Normally we had a guest plaque or whatever, but I'm just saying you to believe. So this year we got our little good jackets that is. And thank you. That they all use me even remember. We also got one for Greg, but Greg couldn't make it tonight. He had a doctor's appointment in Denver this morning. He's doing a lot better. His biggest deal was I gathered a lot of deer and animals that they gathered me, but the only difference is I live. So he's in a lot of pain still, or no, for sure. And, he said it'll be probably another 4 to 6 weeks before we can start doing stuff.
Ray, do you want to, wish Sarah the best or say, go on to each
Well,
one?
I certainly do, Mr. Chairman. Sarah Hunter, I really want to thank you for your service to the community. We really appreciate having your expertise. I know that you have your finger on the pulse of this community, and we have benefited very much from your service. So thank you very much, and I mean that, you know that. And I hope that you enjoy every Tuesday night from now on, without ever having to think about this Tuesday night. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sure. Sarah, I'm like the happiest person in here. But I really enjoyed being sitting next to you and like Ray said, your expertise, especially on land use, was really a big benefit to the board and
I agree, Sarah, thanks. You came on the board, I think, knowing that you weren't happy with some of the things that were going on, and I appreciate that, and I really appreciate you being here. You really were valuable as far as your input. There are times that it doesn't feel that way, and I really appreciate your input. You were quite a help. Thank you, and God bless you going forward. Then to the new board members, Kareem and Bob, I need to make sure that we address you properly. So Kareem, you're going to be addressed by Kareem.
yes.
And Bob by Bob, everyone. Yes, sir. Okay. Welcome. And we're looking for some help. Looking for your expertise, both of you, as we move forward. Okay. That introductions. See you around.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you again.
Thank you. Have fun.
Okay, so you did resolution 105, 125 records there. It's just a resolution to change signal. Number two, letter of authorization for CCMD, since the board is changing, and that's going to probably be through both instead of whoever ends up being chairman and treasurer and stuff. I'll need them to sign to go forward as to Christie and I have the authority to, make decisions and do, any business dealings for the district. So we'll need to have one of those signed.
Question for you. The one change here, of course, is Christie.
Well, we had Christie on there before.
But add to that.
Yeah.
So the chief, that's it.
Yeah.
We still maintain the limit,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And that is,
Like that.
the public should know that. All right, any other questions for? Go ahead, Jim.
Okay, I threw in the new down proposal and had a meeting with, Tracy, on Thursday and her boss, and they, from our original plans of being $3.8 million, now it's going to 12 something. Which is, it's 12,264, $530. So it almost like on the price of what it should be. Green was able to look at some of the information. He has given me some ideas. I also today they wanted a new contract to further the design and stuff. And I gave it to Green and he's gonna look at it and we'll get together and see what we can cut, what potential out of it that, that we never tried to look at over the way. I would, but
No, I appreciate the fact that you do that stuff because, a fresh set of eyes.
so not an engineer.
So the question I have is, why do they want a new contract?
To finish it because I feel that the old contract didn't have some of the stuff in it that needed to be addressed within, the design application.
Is it important to get a new contract?
I don't know, and that's why we're gonna look at the old contract, the one when Casey took it over, and then this one, yeah.
You know how I feel about
Well,
Tracy and RGH.
sure, but if you're working through a plan, this construction, there's gotta be retro design coming out of the contract because not everything is gonna work the way it's supposed to work properly.
But this is for the contract of engineering, not for them itself.
Oh,
Well, no, it's contract for the design of, yeah.
For engineering.
Chairman, I have a question. Can we move this to the study session so we can discuss it?
This
This is the study session, so we can discuss that.
Yeah.
Oh, look, okay, thank you for the clarification. The principles of open channel hydraulics that govern both, channels and dams have been pretty cut and clear by humanity for the past 3,000 years. So, a modification this big on 3 seems a little bit onerous in my opinion. And I appreciate, the district manager sending me this information. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to go in depth with it, but just over the top, I can tell you there are some items that don't sit well. It seems like they're trying to sell us a Cadillac when all we need is a Toyota Tundra. Let me please look into it in depth, and I don't want to take any option off the table, including going to a small RFP to find other firms that may be a little bit more competitive. If that were okay with the district, but I wanted to go on record that we'll go over this, and if there's any questions that I have, I want to see clarification. Is the procedure for me to notify Jim to ask the questions to the engineering firm? Do we send it as a board? How does it go?
or you can come in and set with meetings.
Okay.
Meetings or,
Then
that
that
you
should
get involved with, just meetings
perfect.
to go further with.
Thank you. I guess my concern still is, and Ray, I think maybe you understand that. They want a new contract for engineering, not for the dam.
Well, like I said, I just got that at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I haven't had a chance to really review it, but it seems like it's,
That's absolutely-
additional contract
That's all we,
or additional work.
I think. Yeah. We could,
And if I may direct everybody to the page of their cost estimate, well, they didn't number it, but it's the one that looks like this table. Just for the record and for everybody involved always, with large scale capital improvement projects, the easiest way to estimate what your engineering cost should be at is anywhere between 8 to 12% of the construction cost. So in their construction cost, they point out it's $7.7 million. Yet their engineering cost is sitting at construction, engineering, and testing, $1.8 million, putting it at almost 20%. So that is significantly above the national and actually international standards for engineering estimations of work performed as part of the construction. So that was the first litmus test that there was something that we may want to take a look at.
I'm prepared to, expect them to give us what they outstrip our environment. Oh, I'm not happy with them.
Tell us what you really think.
That's what I will someday. Okay. Well, we don't have this on the action for tonight.
No.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
Okay, next year, we have that special meeting for June 5th, which will be the WSRF notice. This is to submit the application, give full, transparency as to what the project, and loan, if we have to take out a loan with FRS and grant money, what rates would be, if there's any rate adjustments, if we have to finance it ourselves, what the rate would be, for water and sewer, and that kind of stuff. So that meeting will be, on June 5th at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
We're having a public hearing in the middle of, no.
Yes. Yeah, we're, doing it because the application has to be in by midnight. So we want to have some time to finish up, to show that the public meeting, and we'll probably have to have notes and stuff done, as soon as possible, so that way we can get that all in.
Other question, board?
Mr. Chairman, can I ask a question in the prior one? I'd like to see the building, participate with, Green and Jim on reviewing the contract and working with, just discuss items. I've got an engineering background as well. So not the expertise he's got by far, but I have a strong interest in it, and I got a lot of contract experience as well.
So I
I
will,
will see that. working.
Jim,
I can do that.
Committee.
Or is, hold it. So you, the two of you are on committee to do that.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
thank you, sir.
We'll be on the dam.
It won't be my first. Other questions on this, public hearing notice?
Okay, next you have, CCAAC reviews, you have 2 of them in there. One is for, a shed. This is on 4300, Mustang Way. It's just a 8x12 metal shed, wooden metal shed. And then on, 3860 Sedgwick Place, it is a Greenfield garage, which is 32x40. So it has been stamped by the building department and zoning. On that one, the small shed, they don't need to be stamped or building permit for it, since it's a express.
The shed is under 200 square feet.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Sandy, for actually putting that in. We'll probably, as well. But we just hope it does go more apart.
I'm sorry.
The reason I say that is, so, for the school board members, is we have a number, or we still have a number of, if they, 200 square feet, they don't have to. And quite often what they do is just put it without getting approval, so they still need, they're still supposed to get approval from us. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, next you have reading, by charter, of the civil and conduct and building. That's you.
I gotta deal with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Statement of conduct and demand. In order for this court to accept and more accepted that any business matter, if benefit all persons present and against both for the board, staff, and each other. Conduct is free threatening or aggressive will not be tolerated. Shouting, speaking out of order, or using offensive gestures when we are not accepted. Such behaviors are contrary to the right to remain in the family. Point of order brought to the attention by council and board members, including the chairperson, results in being asked to leave the meeting by the chairperson or one refusal, and escorted out of the meeting by the proper door.
Okay, first I have is Dennis Cox.
Good. Great to answer that. All right, my first thing.
Doesn't he have to go to microphone?
No, that's not.
Okay.
He's loud.
He will let him.
Never mind, okay.
He's back.
Oh, he's new. Okay, my first thing. Now that we are allowed to drive ATVs on the roads, in Colorado City and the county and stuff, are we going to have a crossing somewhere to cross 165?
I discussed it with the state, and what we were thinking about is not, we need to find a different place, because where 181 and would be the only place that would be a road that would come close to our green belt to cross at. And we wouldn't want it because it's on a corner, and even though there's a turning lane there, they still feel that it would be unsafe. So we need to find a location to do it if we are going to do it.
Well, that actually becomes a state issue.
Yes.
Once it's placed.
Are they going to find a place to do it, or are we supposed to present it?
We have to present it.
Then they say yeah.
Who did you talk to from the state? Matt Jacko?
And I talked to our local guys here, and,
Okay.
and they, knowing them, they've talked to them.
Yeah.
That guys, and it says no, because these are the criteria that we're gonna have to meet for.
Yeah, it's gonna go down to the stop sign distance, but because of the speed, they're never gonna get a warrant. It's gonna have to be by where the service center right here by Bend. That's probably, did we try that one?
Or there's still, the thing is that you still have state highway that they would be on. That's what we're looking at, is trying to make it where it would be just a crossing across the state highway instead of having to do a jog down the state highway.
What road was it that you were talking, 180, what?
181,
What's that?
which is the one,
The top above the ball.
yeah, the first row that after you get past Ball.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. What's wrong with that?
Because of the corner. There's a corner, you have, speed limit's 50 mile an hour, so, and you have a hill. There's a lot of variables in there that.
They put up road signs for deer crossings,
They don't read them.
and I've seen in different areas where they put up signs for ATV crossings, or, ATV crossing within the next 5 miles, like deer crossing. I've seen those for ATVs. Why can't they do that?
So, Mr. Chairman, may I?
Go ahead.
And I don't mean to infringe on your time, but I think what we might want to do is, there are a number of communities around the state that are 100% ATV. And they've done well with the state. I know Lake City's one of them, Silverton. We got to figure out how they did it. And try to see if we can do it that way. That is,
Get a hold
got it
of
all.
some smaller communities like we did originally.
yeah, they've got it all figured out.
I mean, because it's gonna come up, so You know, before too long, people are gonna start wanting to know, you know, where they can cross, and where you said, I thought that would be the perfect place, you know? And they even put in a nice little paved path for the ATVs to go on to.
That
I thought that was really nice.
That was a walking trail.
Oh, it should have been an ATV trail.
Do you have any suggestions of any other cross? Other place for cross?
Yes, but I'll bring that up next meeting.
Okay.
Okay, my next thing. First of all, like I said before, it took 6 weeks for the county to actually do our road this time, whereas previously it took 2 to 4 days. I think that the board should take an active role in, or the county, or the Metro District, not the board, Metro District employees, take a more active role in identifying roads that need to be graded and call in and get the things done. I know it's up to the individuals too that live on the roads, but you know, when it takes 6 weeks to get one done, and previously it only took 2 to 4 days, there's something wrong. And yeah, I pissed off the guys there, but, so be it. Okay, but anyhow, that's the recommendation. My other recommendation is, and this should be to the board, I think that the board should start going to the county with recommendations on roads that should be chip sealed or paved. I know you got involved in this one that I've been battling the county with, you know, and that's what got me in trouble with the previous guy. He lied to me, but anyhow, I think that the board should get involved in that, okay? The last, no, like second to last, post office. You were taking the lead on post office. What happened?
Well, Warren Goldberg's office contacted when she was still our congressperson, contacted the postmaster general and nothing ever came back.
Uh-huh.
And now they're talking about privatizing the postal service. So I don't see the post office being a reality in Colorado City other than a private contract.
So you just gotta let it die then.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. One question, my last question. Is the cost of a permit to build a house, is that the same as if someone wanted to do some minor thing like put a porch on?
No, there's a different cost scale for all of it.
Okay.
For fences, for garages, for, decks, for, house. It's all different, and on the back of the application, big house, all the different pricing for it.
Okay. All right. I'm done.
May I address? So I'm curious, why the question?
Pardon?
Did you run into an issue there
What with?
as far as the cost difference for building?
No, I had someone come to me complaining that they thought that it was the same cost for building a house as it is to do some minor thing. And I should have come in and just looked at the permit thing, but I didn't. So I thought, since I'm here, I'll ask.
Now with the building side of it, when you go to regional building, their costs are tremendously high for adding that or for
Oh, the county?
adding a garage or something, because they're going off the square footage and the value of the square footage, where we're not. We're going off of just what it would be for design.
It's a flat fee.
Oh, well, don't do it then.
No, and of course, this is for Colorado City. Did you have something?
No, it was a draft one. That was just.
What else, Dennis?
That's it. I'll shut up now.
Thank you for your input. Okay. I'm gonna close the study session. Anything else in the study session? Anybody, the board? Close the study session, open the regular meeting of the Pleasant Metro District on May 13th at 6:25, join the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and with justice for all.
I don't think that. I still push for it, so.
If you join the moment of silent reflection, if you so choose. Thank you. Yeah, nothing more, so, but,
Dennis, you want, get a hold of Jeff or he's our new representative that took over.
Oh, okay,
I'm sorry.
I will.
it's a minute, let the minutes show that we have a full quorum, all board members present. Okay, we need to elect officers. We have a new board, and we need to elect officers.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion to nominate the current chairman to be the new chairman for the Colorado City Metro Board. I'll second it.
Uh,
You say discussion.
discussion. Okay, discussion, questions? Go ahead,
How often do we have to change the offices?
when we have a new board.
Okay,
Or usually every year.
okay.
Oh, we can, you know, it's at per rec, it's at when the board changes.
Okay.
I would agree that as far as every year, I would suggest that next year we do that, if we do, after we go through the election of office. But anyway, currently, all right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. No? Go chairperson.
If you would like to motion to be co-chair.
I can second it.
Moving second, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Slow.
Secretary. Who is the current secretary?
Secretary was,
You said in the city. Second.
Discussion, questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Bring your secretary. Treasury. In the past, where we had, the treasurer and the co-chair, same person. And unless you have a disagreement with that, then I suggest that we continue with that.
Good idea.
Chairman, can I ask one question?
Go ahead.
I want to ask Clint, how was it to be both at the same time? Was that a problem? Was it difficult?
No, it's signed the same number of forms, so.
Really, the situation of treasurer probably has more, duties anyway, because you have to involve the culture.
Yeah.
So, is that okay with you? Okay. I don't, do you even need a, I guess
you
you
made a
know,
motion. We made a motion to.
Does the chairman make a motion to accept also the co-chair?
Second.
moving second, question, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, Frank. Approval of the agenda.
Before you move on, just, I did change everything in the SDA. For, I had some emails and our bond paperwork showing that they are bonded now. The other thing is you do have a mailbox in the office here. So if you want to, at any time you feel usually what ends up in your mailbox is the SDA magazines, and things like that, that things going on, in small districts all over the place. Or any communication maybe from our congressman or.
And please check them out. Sometimes you get stuff.
And usually all of it, it looks like it's supposed to be in stuff, it sits on your book. And then now I have to hassle with your book.
Mr. Chairman, may I say something?
Go ahead.
In the past, not all the board members utilize their email account also. Is that something that's gonna be used or?
Yes, well, that's what I need to do, and we're gonna discuss that, we're doing this. I have passwords and stuff, and how to navigate into your new, Colorado City email. And I'm gonna set the two new board members up.
All right, the agenda. I would like to amend the agenda to include the policy Metro District government enforcement policy letter that we were going to send out. We talked about that, but we did not actually approve it. And if we're going to deal with this, government process, like we discussed before, we need to publicize that to the public. So we need to send out the letter. We dealt with that, everybody looked at that letter last meeting and thought, okay, we actually need to put it by sending, getting it published. So I'd like to have that added to the agenda. Amendment.
Okay.
So can I get an approval of the agenda with the amendment?
Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion to approve the amended agenda.
Move in second. Question, discussion. Let's go. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? And I get an approval of the minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes, special meeting April 22nd, 2025, study session regular meeting April 9th, 2025, CCACC minutes April 29th, 2025.
Move in second. Question, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Bill Pitt.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to pay the bill.
Second.
Discussion. Okay. Got to me? The A squared,
That is part of the sewer project.
well, the A squared, $17,507.50 is not. Okay. That is, temporary service fee. I reiterate again. That's a lot. We're paying that much, we're not quite that much longer, but monthly we're paying horrendous amount of money for a contractor to help us with those. The remainder part, the 76,000 and 2,000 are for the VFD. Those I understand. Just, somehow we have to come to grips with the fact of how much money we're spending for contractor to work on our floor plan. Okay, that one, and then fleet supply, we have a dual head air chuck for the water treatment plant maintenance of $72.49. The dual head air chuck is over $70.
Can you answer that one?
A high quality tire pressure gauge system. Gauges your tire pressure and fills it at the same time.
Is that needed?
It was necessary.
I did ask Christie about the iron out, you know, that you are now finding the iron out from Amazon versus the hardware store.
Get a little bit when we run out,
Thanks for doing that.
we end up buying one or two bottles.
We have a utility knife and a ratchet for water treatment plant maintenance, $30. How many hundreds of those do we have we purchased? We also have a pair of pliers at $41 for the water treatment plant maintenance. What are we doing buying a pair of pliers for $40?
Who signed for it?
I don't have,
I have no idea why we would buy pliers
for $40, the pair of pliers.
at all.
Cause we just had a pair of pliers back,
Yeah, 2 months ago.
yeah. that we-
I guess sometimes I kind of like to go ahead to him. Sometimes you need stuff to look on a cursory look out radius, and sometimes that's needed. The struggle I have still is, it just looks like shopping. I truly don't know that I don't feel comfortable with the fact that everybody, basically says, this is dollars coming out of our pocket. And it's our pockets. And of course, individually, it's everybody's pocket. So sometimes this stuff looks like we're shopping. We're not taking care of what we buy. We had 75 visits or 75 purchases at H Hardware last month, and we have about 85 this month. Actually, more than that, about 90 this month.
All from the water plant?
No, that's just the base. That's just-
Right, but water plant signed off or wastewater signed off?
Bunch of them for water plant, but they're not this tall.
Right, so you gotta look at the parks and rec,
No,
the
that's the
golf course.
So the other question I have is that, how often we're making trips there? And that broke down to where really that's not that out of Jordan. No, that's not that many trips. I don't know if we could be more efficient in doing that. I am concerned about the efficiency of spending the number of trucks.
We could call Snap-on and have them deliver. Well, it's true.
We shouldn't.
You complain about it every month. Would you like us to do that?
We shouldn't need any more pliers from Snap-on or anybody.
We do have to have tools, though. Admit it.
So the iron arc explained, and I think that's all I have. Oh, the Valley First True Pitch Sport, pitching mound. That's
Yes.
a Valley First, is it not?
Yes.
And then you have the bleachers on there that are part of the,
Also Valley First, right?
yeah, and that's under one of the grants. But that's what we want to know.
Okay.
Huh?
All right, anybody else have any questions? All right, let's wait there, let's go. Clint,
Yes.
Green,
Yep.
Bob, yes, Green,
Yes.
Joe votes yes. We don't have a financial report for this
No,
meeting, so let's go on to operational report.
An operational report, putting, first thing, is the letter from the state that they did, currently, give us our 1 foot back on our lake until August 1st. So that's a good thing. Well, we're still meeting all their demands. As for our lake, the lake measurements, they continually remain the same. The reason we're on the second, that week we had a lot of rain, that created, a lot of extra water going through our weir at that point. We have, Ellen Varsh now doing, the weekly reports. I didn't get Fridays in here because I already have printed up most of the stuff for, I got that report. So we'll be on the next report. Parks and Rec operational report, we have done some work on the west bathrooms at Caulfield. We go over and analyzed and turned into storage. They're fully functional now and almost empty. So we will be ready when, football soccer field is operational. We have built shelves for storage in the new shop building to help, store the items that are or were in the bathrooms.
full cleanup is underway and we will be putting water in it within the next week. Lifeguard training is scheduled for this month. Actually, they started putting in water today. It's full. Okay. Sports, baseball registration was closed. That is, started. We have 95 participants and 9 teams playing this summer. We were able to add 8 and under coach pitch and 10 and under baseball this year. We will be reaching out to other teams, towns to get some games set up for these teams. The T-ball program has 6 teams, so they will have a full schedule against each other. Polydot, course maintenance, rain from April 7th to May 7th. We had 3.21 inches of precipitation. Green Street for moss, algae, new pump installed in pump house, broadleaf weed control applied. Course mowing has increased throughout all areas. Irrigation is still as need depending the demand for source and weather. Ponds on 5 and 10 are full. As for the pro shop, revenue for 2024 was 54,000. For April was $54,475. This year was $54,113. As for year to date, for 2024, we were at 146,455, whereas this year we are at $227,810. Memberships last year were 57,000. This year it's at 71,000. April was another great month at our Polydot, although the weather had us closed on 2 of the weekends due to snow and cold. We still have lots of party members are still selling, and we continue to get more players from the north. As for the water summary, water that was billed and accounted for was 6 million gallons, 799, anyway, 6 million gallons, 379,971 gallons. As for the water report from April 25th to from March 25th to April 25th, water plant produced just over 16 million gallons. Water tanks are full. At this time, we are getting ready to fill swimming pools. A lot of this early runoff is being diverted due to large amounts of TDS,
Full dissolved solids.
okay.
That's
Electric,
the Manitou Springs, which is.
yeah, electric glitches have tried a VFD at Cold Springs 2 times. Replacement VFD lasted 15 minutes and got fried. A squared replaced the 3rd VFD on Friday. Samples have been pulled and we are up to date at this time. Wastewater plant received 8.7 million gallons of raw wastewater, treated and returned 9.6 million gallons. A squared has finished the first phase of the VFD project at the wastewater plant. We can now set up the ORP levels. Next is the installation of SC-54 heads, which one program will control the blowers to feed oxygen to the basins and digester. The snow rain storm that hit us created large flows at the plant. And that's all I have.
Cold Springs has been, one of, Mr. Chairman, Cold Springs, has been, a kind of a thorn for A Square, hasn't it?
For all of us.
Hasn't A Square been there quite a bit?
Well, everybody has. It's
Is that plant?
it's not only Cold Springs. It's
No.
our entire plant. He is everywhere.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, I guess what better question is, how is Cold Springs hanging in?
Right now, we have everything up and running, full skids.
Yeah.
Everything's been replaced.
Yeah.
Next electrical storm we have,
Oh, yeah.
we could be trashed. but Cold Springs is producing about a third of what the city is using at this point.
Okay.
Another type of property.
So, we produced and distributed through the distribution line, 6,279,000 gallons. Now that includes water going to the golf course, water going to the water plant, water going to the sewer plant.
Total
and water
charge
going to
for it.
standpipe. Now, the water going to standpipe likely wouldn't be going to our sewer. How can we produce 6.3 million gallons and
Neil?
receive in the sewer 8.7 million
Listen
gallons?
to what you're saying. You charged for 6 million gallons.
Yeah,
I made 16 million.
so when you receive 8.7 million into sewer,
Yes,
where'd that other 2 million, 2.5 million?
10
gallons
million
come from?
gallons, 10 million gallons.
Where'd it come from? What happened to the 6.3 million that we billed for?
Right?
Okay, that some of that, and actually 75% of that should be going to the,
70% generally does, yes.
and yet you received 8.7 million in the sewer. Where'd that
Now,
other?
now
2 million-
listen, we produced 16 million gallons. So our 8% is, or our 70% is gonna be it's gonna be almost 9 million gallons.
But we only billed for 6.3 million.
That's what I tell you every month. And you don't listen.
So the difference here, let's say that everything, our billing is correct. Where did the 8.7 million versus the 6.3 million, the difference there is somehow just fall out of the sky?
Yeah,
It's gone.
that's part of it too, is you have some of it that falls out of the sky that goes into your basins that also may have infiltration.
Jim, we're
or
talking
whatever.
about 2.5 million gallons. That's a water tank full,
Well, we had 3.5 inches over the last month.
a water tank full.
You had 3.2 inches. You take that over the area that we have, how many gallons is that going?
Going into the sewer?
May I, Mr.
Go
Chairman?
ahead.
I think if we take a look outside of Colorado City, maybe at Manitou Springs, when you get a massive amounts of moisture, on both sides of the system, either, in the water producing side or on the wastewater side, there's a lot of, infiltration and water getting into the system that we just really haven't planned on. So I think what they're saying at the wastewater plant is when it rains as much as it rains, you get unbelievable amounts of infiltration into the system. Now, I don't know the exact number, and I don't think anybody can know that number, but, it's just weather creates issues.
We had a program, everything back, I think, before any, including, I guess it was when I was still on the board earlier, that was checking the manholes for infiltration.
Yeah.
And, it looked like that we corrected some of that. We don't have a storm sewer system.
Right.
Whereas the cities do. So the water that it runs off into the ditches and stuff should not be going into the sewer plant.
That does though. And where our biggest problems lie is in our creek crossings. There is places where manholes are exposed to high water levels. It's been brought to the board's attention a number of times before this board was here. Nothing was ever done. No one cared. We went into a drought. It went away. Right now, we're flowing about 320,000 gallons a day into a plant.
We have an ongoing problem here, and the Clint's Path request is that the water study. And we need to, but this is just, our numbers just don't work. So, okay. Anybody else?
Mr. Chairman, I have a couple
Go ahead.
questions on
Go ahead.
that. The letter, temporary relief letter that, gave criteria that they had to be met to be able to get the relief. The second bullet refers to finalized project financing. So
We're
that
working
mean,
on that.
so what does it, does that mean you gotta get locked in all the financing to be able to?
Before we go to bid, yeah. Before we go to bid. It's, you're on financing, yeah, that's federal law.
You have to have all the money.
I was concerned that it says you can have relief if we need these requirements and finalizing.
And Harry knows that we are working on that. He's also helping with the FEMA side of it. Because with FEMA, we are able to give at least up to 2.8 million. And he says there are projects out there that they probably won't come into tuition this year. So any of that extra money, by me writing a letter, which I did, to them to say that if there's any extra financing available due to our increased costs, we appreciate it and we'd still be under the 45% for it. Our total cost would be. So we could end up with more than a $2.8 grant from the.
Mr. Chairman, before we move out of operational report, could you tell me how many meters were replaced in Applewood?
16.
Huh?
16.
Yeah.
They did get some deep, they did get some time.
He kept asking, "You gonna ask your question? You gonna ask your question?" He asked me that 4 times.
Yes. And I want to say congratulations.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you to our public works team and that's impressive.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Don't expect it every week, but whenever he gets,
That's great.
which in that case, we also lost another vote. So we're looking at hiring somebody else. Anybody's interested.
I know that this is not appropriate, but was it bleachers?
No. We are also funding 3 of our crews through CDL training.
Oh,
Yeah, so that'll help.
Anything else?
I'm good.
Anybody else? Any questions? Not good. Let's go on now.
Okay,
Thank God. Next thing I guess would be, Clint Ray attending, the grant meeting for the golf course. Any update there?
Yeah, it was there, Tim, most of it, but, Stephanie's going to, she's gonna start the process. It's kind of a good kickoff meeting. She's gonna contact Lori with the Colorado Water Conservation. Colorado Department of Natural Resources, grant program to best fit our needs, and gonna look into a couple other grants, like the Rocky Golf Course Superintendents Association and the Golf Course Superintendent Association of America, see if they can provide any funding as well. I don't know if that's even possible. And we have also brought up the West Golf Course for conservation, because that opens up the door for additional grants funding by including more people in the community. And she's still looking at that a little further.
That's good. No, actually, that's good thought. So when you do that, of course, so you're not done yet.
No.
When you do that, you also consider, the trail going to the West Golf Course.
Yeah, yes.
Good, great.
So how
I'm sure.
does that affect the properties that bought that, knowing that that was gonna be a golf course? The board promised those people that lived there on that golf course that they would hold it in their form and not open that up to it, that stuff,
To keep it as open space.
to keep it as golf course properties.
Well, it would remain golf course property, it would remain Metro property. We would not give anybody.
Not metro property, the people that live.
That's a good point. That would need to be checked out later as well. Because conservation easement is.
They were promised when we closed that course that we would keep that way.
Keep it just as it is. Weren't you planning on trails through there?
Yeah, but
All kinds of crap
conservation
we've been told about that.
maybe that's place restrictions that wouldn't be allowed. It's as the way it was set up. That should be checked out. I would think that would be good too, but that would be
Well, you have cart path that goes from the bottom all the way to the top. It's not something new. It's been there since 1962.
I think conservation is, that's a great idea, though, it would need to be checked out kind of legally, for that fit within its, covenant and the way it's set up.
Usually with the conservation easement, as long as you aren't building and there is no building on it, as long as it stays within the district, you're okay. It's when you turn around and sell off parcels to build on it, then that's when it breaks that conservation easement.
Yeah, I think that, my feeling is that every idea that we talked about within their meeting was more about, maybe, just creating more of a habitat area as opposed to changing it much. You know, there's no drive, I don't think to, like we're talking about, doing anything structurally different. It's just that, we might be, if we can improve the habitat for, like, for example, Colorado Parks and Wildlife, if they like what we're doing with the habitat in there. And that doesn't mean you're changing anything from the way it is right now.
You create issues bringing people through their trails through that water plant.
Well,
It's a dangerous area. You guys,
well, I think,
you guys,
of course,
president of this board condones people hiking all over the place.
that would have to be mitigated, of course.
And that's the thing is with this new water plant, with the new water plant and stuff designing that, we'll fence in all of it. So it's going to.
So then you're building, so then you're building on
But listen, that's all kind of a different issue than the grant for a golf course, but I think that's all working. Good, but, you know, that's a different issue.
So what it does is open the door for funding outfits or entities like hearing habitat and conservation easements, and the fact that more people in the community have something else to do, as opposed to just a golf course. It reaches more people, and that's what they want to hear.
But look forward to updates. All right, do you have anything else? We have, can we move on? Anybody else?
So it looks like you're responsible for the newsletter this week.
How'd that happen?
That your operation consultant.
I see.
And Greg is here now. Well, Greg, all of Greg, so next week.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, how does that work? Who gets the people who want that change?
So the newsletter went through it a couple years ago, but each one of us as board members review that. We like the newsletter and
Usually the two new guys do it for the first 4 years.
You said it too late. It is important, I feel like it's important, when I set it up, it is up to the board members to write the letter, and it is his letter, so we don't instruct the board members how it's done.
I'm just looking at the rotation.
You get a few examples. Sure. And they're on our website. I newsletter every month on the website. We usually want it in here by at least the 27th of the month, because our bills go out on the 1st. So we like to put it together.
So find this time, Bob, you're not.
Well, I'm asking, that's all I'm asking.
All right. I was kidding, didn't make you guys chance.
Yeah.
Okay, Ray's next. Then that way they have some examples of what they have to follow.
Yeah, where do I find the whole letters?
Yeah. They are on the website. And we have, we do have. All right,
Okay, attorney's report, I did put in your packets, conflict of interest, rules of conduct, and ethical principles. Those are in our bylaws, and have to give them to any new employee, which you guys are not an employee, but you're a contract basically, that you have to have this notification within 30 days. So it is being served.
They need to sign anything for that.
That's why it's on tape. Let's give it to you. Okay, next is agenda items. First on the list is resolution 05/2025 signature, banks and on accounts.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we, approve resolution 05-2025, signature on the bank, San Juan account. A second.
Moved and second. Questions, discussion? Let's vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the letter of authorization.
Moved and second. Questions, discussion? Let's vote. All in favor, say aye.
Let's do it.
Aye.
Make it
Opposed?
sound done.
Okay, I'm going to, because I amended the agenda, I'm gonna make a motion that we approve the posting of the notice of possible fines for architectural violation.
You're referring to the letter we looked at last 2 weeks ago.
Correct. Now, along with that, of course, is the structure of how we handle that, and I don't know that we have cemented that yet. I would suggest that we approve the posting, but subsequently following the next meeting, finalizing the structure of that banner and the amount of funds. So currently, the motion is to approve the posting of the possible fines for
When you say posting, what exactly do you mean by that?
posting the item. We need to put it on the website, we need to put it up on Facebook, hang it in the post office.
Okay.
Whatever, and if you have ideas of better places to put it, you need it. So we need that authorized for posting it.
Newspaper. Can we put a copy on the bill stuff?
In the what?
We probably can.
Bill stuff?
Oh, yeah, I was going to do that, we put that on the newsletter.
Oh, in the newsletter?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll probably have to kind of take the font down a little bit so that you get on one page.
So just,
Well, you're looking at this,
yeah, it's not good.
and it's not this. It's,
It's that letter.
Oh, okay.
The letter of notice.
yeah.
Okay. I need a second.
Second,
Move the second. Okay, questions about that?
I have a question, Mr. Chairman. For the procedure which actually determines whether a fine will be issued or not, is that up for discussion?
No.
No.
That's not on this agenda. That's what I said about, we need to follow it up with putting that on the very next agenda.
Yes,
And that will finalize that as well as the fund structure itself.
that's what I wanted to hear. Thank you.
So we don't, in fact, both Karima and Bob don't have that letter. It was in the last meeting. Or no, I think she does.
Yeah, I'll have to.
I have the email version, but I think it was some other document.
There was some additions, right?
Yeah, we can see. it.
Yeah.
So you're approving something you haven't finalized,
No,
It's notice. It's a
It's
notice.
just a notice.
but you're gonna add to it, correct? Or no?
But it's just the notice that's coming.
That it is coming, that they are.
I'm just asking. Cause it's pretty vague, it's heading over here.
Okay, any questions, any other questions? Let's vote. What? Yeah. Ray? Yep. Rob?
Poke out out.
Ray? Yeah. I'm sure we'll fit. All right. Jim, let's move on to old business.
Old business, well repair. Let's go with it right off the bat. I got a call from Tom Dye. He is no longer working for him. He gave me to the next guy, his partner that was in the business with him. So I'm trying to get with him to get scheduled to get rodeo well up and running. So that's on the well report. That's where we're at with it. That's water, we haven't ran across anything yet on it. That meter change out, even Boyd did well last week. Water loss, we haven't run across any new leaks or anything like that at this point. Wages, me and Gary just haven't had time to sit down with problems with the plants and stuff to really sit down and talk about wages for the plant. Camelot, Rosemont, we did get the letters. They are in your packet. You will be accepting them for action items under CCAACC. Okay. Water survey and leak detection. Said we're keeping it on, in mind. And we're keeping going with the meter progress. And dam pricing, just what the costs were. And with that, how we talked about it, with Green being able to sit down and Bob now with us to review that.
So we have, engineers involved here. Both, the two of you are working on the dam, kind of the engineering dam project. Now, Dan Walkup, should he be involved?
I don't know, it might
Do you
be,
know Dan?
we might get him in here and introduce it
It'd be good
to
to,
Green. He's one, he was the surveyor before, Billy. So he's well rooted in the community, and he also did work for RJH on a few projects. So he doesn't work for them full time, and he has seen some of the things that they have overpriced and stuff too, so.
okay.
It might be something that might be assistance with us.
Surveyors, for sure, department is.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman.
go ahead.
So getting back to the wage thing, are wage increases being delayed because you don't have a wage?
No. Nobody's tested or anything like, they're still going through, training on that, which we will have another training May 28th, I think it is, for water, wastewater. Collections and distribution.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Wright, go ahead, sorry.
Okay, let's go back to the water laws. This last Saturday, the plant was in standby for 4.5 hours. The next day on Sunday, we were in standby for 3.5 hours. We do not have all these major leaks that everybody thinks we have. When the plant is full, tanks are full, the plant shuts down and we just sit there. So where it's going, I have no idea. But Gary and I, that's all we do. We just watch that place. And when you're in standby for 4.5 hours, there ain't no water going anywhere.
Well, I agree.
So I'm just saying, Gary and I have talked for hours trying to figure this out.
Right, and I think that that's one of the things that I've been hearing for the last 2 or 3 years is that we just don't know. We just don't know why there's discrepancy on paper.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing we've got to figure out, and I just love the fact that we're changing out those meters. That might help a little bit, but there's something wrong. When we go to talk to people about water, all we have to go on is numbers. That's the problem. And so unfortunately, we're going to have to track that down. If it's but I don't know how to do that.
Well, Gary and I beat our heads against the wall.
Yeah.
And, but I know that when I look in at 10 o'clock at night and we're in standby, 24.5 feet, and 4.5 hours later, I get a call that the plant's back up.
How many feet do you use in that tank before it starts back up?
2.5.
40,000 gallons.
Yeah.
So if you produced 16 million and took in 8 million at the sewer, then we should be billing for 10 million. So there's a difference between what we're billing and what that number is. And
Our
that's
billing
the
is
number
off.
that we can't figure out.
This last billing is off 10 million gallons of water.
Somehow we're losing revenue water.
Yes.
Whether that's being lost or we don't know.
No, it's not being lost. We know that the water's staying within our system, our distribution system. It's not going anywhere.
How, just for personal enrichment, how many feet of pipe do we have?
72 miles of water line. We've gone there. That's a pretty hard equation because we have PVC, ductile steel, and ACE.
But we don't have an average cross section to calculate how much.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, anywhere from 12 inch to 6 inch.
Oh,
From 18 inch.
You see where I'm going with this? There's a
Yeah.
certain amount that left the plant, but still in the pipe, so hasn't been.
Oh, there's a lot in the pipes.
Yeah, no, I know.
But I've done that math a lot of times. It just aggravates me.
That's probably why the boss whole study here is and we've been struggling with that. So, okay, any other old business? All right, let's move on to
New business, we have migrated all of our GH Valley accounts to, Colorado City MDCO.gov. The new 2 board members, I just sent in for you guys to get an email set up for you, and took the other ones off. And as for Ray, Neal, and Clint, I do have, an account, and if you want to come into my office, sometime when you have time, I'll give you the password and how to do it, how to get into that.
That would be a buzz first.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Tomorrow I'll be gone in the morning. I have meetings with, Greers and Springs at 9 o'clock with our tanks and our tank painter to get this moving so we get that this year. And see where we're at. So I won't be around in the morning. I'll be
Will you update us on that, the email on the, I think you ought to email it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right, anything else? Any other new business, anybody? Okay, let's move on to the CCACC.
Okay, your new construction, shed for 4,300 Mustang Road and a garage for 3860 Cedric Place.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we group 4,300 Mustang Road and 3860 Central Place, for approval.
Second.
Moved and seconded, questions? Discussion? These are both approved by the CCAAC.
Yes.
Okay. And it looks like everything's here, so, all right. Let's vote. Clint,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Bob, yes, Graham?
Aye.
All right, good vote there.
Okay, on action items, there was 2, first letters that are going out to Camelot and Rosemont. Thanks Neil for the help on getting those set up. Those
just to be clear on those, those are not CCAAC or CCACC, they are Metro.
Are they?
They, both of them are not covenant issues, they are, encroachment issues.
Encroachment, okay.
You're trespassing.
I just ended up putting them with just.
But it's still important that you have them, that you're aware of what.
And those are the ones that I handed out with the case. I forgot them in the packet.
So as far as after action on those, we don't need that.
Okay. Yes, sir.
I'm curious, are we expecting any kind of pushback or reaction from these people?
I already got the calls. I already got a call on it, because I said, I didn't know another, and so he's supposed to come in and move everything and put away the business.
What we end up with too often on these is just, we just ignore them. We'll see. Anything else, any other questions?
Mr. Chairman, so the plans for the fine for covenants would not cover this situation.
No. This actually, because like Ray said, those are these trespass. This is trespassing issues on city property. And we actually can legally go out there tomorrow and remove the stuff, but we'll have to let them know that
I think we could provide approach with notifying them and trying to work something out first.
we have more to do.
Okay, communications. I have, 2 North Parkway. His grinder pump went out. In the past, it used to be that when they first put in all of that, we guaranteed the pump as long as the owner owned the house. Well, the owner, it has been bought and sold 2 or 3 times. Well, his grinder pump went out. He is asking for some assistance on it because we went over and told him that he needed a grinder pump, not a E1 like we have in that we ended up having to replace from the other ones that have E1s. So he sent me what the bill was going to cost him. I know in the past we did make some allowances for another new construction. And it's in the presidents, and I believe it was $2,500. We did that for, so I believe any assistance that we can give him, we can thankful for it.
Are you talking about in kind or?
No.
Cash.
Probably cash.
Did he replace that when we moved in?
That's,
Did he?
I don't know, the 10 months or so.
And that's because he had an E1 in the
The E1 is the one that we recommend, he had the wrong side.
So, did he follow our recommendations or did he go off?
We didn't know that they replaced.
We weren't aware of it.
The only way we knew about this one is it came up on our, locals.
Are we gonna replace every grinder pump?
We only have 2. We have right now that the Metro District is responsible for is 3 Woodbine and what's it, 16 North Park, Mitchell's, and the clubhouse, which we own. That's the only grinder pumps we are now responsible.
Why are we responsible for them?
Why?
Original owners.
Original owners. The house has not been sold. And that was in the original.
You know, he's putting in what we recommend.
Okay, so
And that's what the cost difference was it was gonna be about a $2,500 difference cost wise, put in a better pump than what he was going for.
That's not correct.
This question on mine. How many are?
How can we be responsible for everybody? No.
Right?
They
You
bought
have
these
anything
houses
else?
knowing.
No, I don't.
Well, like I said, this is just correspondence. We can bring it up next meeting if you want to think about it and go from there.
I don't know that we didn't think about it. What is the pleasure of the board? Do we need to think about it or have more information or discuss this anymore, or can we direct the manager in an action?
I'm reluctant to create another, well, there is a precedent, but may I address the staff?
Okay.
Are we scared of the ramifications that this may have, or do we prefer the grinder pump be put in order to guarantee the integrity of the system?
I'm not worried about it, Kareem. They did what Aiden and I talked about. We met with them. They did it. Aiden and I or Gary had no idea that they had any work done prior to this.
If I can clarify, it has to be the grinder pit that we
Yeah.
recommend.
No,
Yeah. And, I'm not worried about it. I mean, if you guys decide to do this, that's fine. But everybody else, like I said, we only are responsible for 2 houses and the clubhouse.
Okay.
And everybody else is on their own after this.
We also have to, as far as that present, we have all those, other houses over the
North Park.
the north part, yeah, we think the
Woodbine goes the other direction. Woodbine has nothing to do with North Park.
they're going to think that we should buy their grinder trucks too.
No, Woodbine goes the other direction. It's a whole different sewer system.
Because the whole system then is part of Bakerville.
Yeah,
So-
so it does not tie into Woodbine or, North Park whatsoever.
No, but they have grinder pumps. So
They have a lift station.
Yeah, so they're going to expect us to.
No, that is totally a whole different system. Nothing to do with Colorado City Metro.
I'm not Gabriel.
May I ask the manager,
Go ahead.
what would you do? What's the option?
That's why you guys.
$100.
My opinion is we kind of did set a precedence with the new house, that new construction that we put in. And we did give her a lot for grinder. And I just feel that.
Go ahead.
Is there a benefit to Metro if we have the right equipment? If we have bad equipment, are we able to resolve problems that come from that?
We
Yeah.
shouldn't allow it to be put in if it's illegal. I did not know about the one down in the corner, full mine, or we would have changed before they put it in. That's the whole problem that we had issues over there. They put in inexpensive equipment and it screwed everything up. We paid for it by flooding their basement.
So because they tried to save money, now they have to pay for it twice.
We had to pay for it.
Well, yes,
Yeah,
okay,
yes.
understood.
So let me just be clear, I'm a little slow tonight. So Gary, what you're saying is that, this client put in a pump that, we would have never recommended.
We did, correct,
So it's like we recommended a pump and he put in something else.
yes.
Oh, well, then that's easy.
Yeah,
Well,
but it was with the first pump that we put in. We replaced it.
it was originally an E1 grinder. Now, when it got changed out, I have no idea. Pardon?
But that's not our fault, that's not our problem.
I know that it was put in with an original E1 grinder. Because when that house was built, there was the other houses there, every place had the E1.
Well, I make a motion that we decline to assist with payment of the grinder companies.
So, second?
Move in second. Question, discussion from the board.
I would just say that, I'm concerned about the precedent, continuing on and on and on. I understand the concerns of set, the appearance of process with the new construction, but it will only continue on and on. Should it get again? Unfortunately, I am curious, do homeowners get any kind of guidance on what they should be doing, so if they choose to change a home, they already know what they're supposed to do?
They should, I haven't talked to them first.
That's an outstanding point, Paul. Are we in the routing for building regional for inspection of the components and stuff?
No,
Do we have an interest of being put into the open gov, process so that they notify us whenever one's being put?
We are in the open gov process,
But there's, that
Well,
was,
but it isn't for.
don't get me started on that, because that was one of the biggest pushes I had in the county to unify El Camino, build regional with open gov for the county and the metro districts.
the only way we know, Kareem, is when we get, 811 for
Yeah.
locates. That's the only time we know that something's going on.
I would like, Chairman, if possible, to bring somebody from building regional, to come and, wait, first and foremost, they owe it to you guys to talk about it. And second, to put us into their system, so that when there's a new construction permit, before a CO is issued, that our guys are notified so that their system meets, their construction meets our system.
Most of our houses coming in are gonna be standard sewer.
Yeah.
Everything's gravity outside of the golf course there.
Absolutely, most.
So if some, almost
Yes.
100%, outside of, Bakerville.
Yeah, so that. Well, I think that, let's, deal with the motion.
Yes,
Any other questions or comments, issues about the motion? All right, the motion to decline to assist with the, grinder pump for that location. What,
Yes,
Wayne?
deny, so.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, yes, Ron? Ready?
Yes.
Bill goes yes. All right, now the next, so that motion, we're going to decline to, the next issue that you bring up as far as, contact regional, let's bring that up. Okay. I don't know that,
does have to be next session.
yeah, let's bring that up on the agenda, it'll be issue for next. I think that's good.
Like a chairman, that covers new construction, what you recommended.
Yeah.
What about existing homes that do what this guy did that caused the whole problem? Is there any way for us to incorporate that into the discussion?
I think that would be, they should be getting permission to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be covered anytime that they pull a plumbing permit. Anybody has a general, general contractor's license or plumbing contractor's license, they should know to pull a permit if they have to punch their line. And the second it pulls their, it'll trigger the route. So
The
yes,
next thing, also with that being said, it's not just only the grinder pump, but a backflow
yes,
preventer for sewer.
100%. Well, that, the staff will tell us what they want and we'll make sure it gets put in.
Okay, next, on communications, like I said, Cody, for yourself, sent me the management meeting for the year. There is communications on there. He does ask if you guys would like to speak to him, speak with him on any further, he'd be happy to come in for you and discuss it, Cody. So I'll get in contact with him, see when he has time to come into the meeting. The last thing is Bing did, send the ordinance for the ATVs, and I included the zero from the commission. So that was all I have for communication.
And thank you for that.
Yeah, it was, thanks Commissioner Swearingen, he's the one that tracked it down for us.
Anything else?
Let's get out of here.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to adjourn.
Bill and second, we're adjourned.
You know, all board members, I need your signatures.
Unusually productive.
Unique, unique.
Well, you're Dennis Lodge. Not somebody.
Trevor Sanchez. That's what, have the resolution. Get you guys on there.
Thank you.
No. Okay. Until we get, that's what we're trying.
He probably needs here and.
That's over the books, or do you keep?
You can come in and usually I'll have one ready by Monday.
Yeah, so Monday's when I'll do it, when I wait to drop something out, because if I have any caps, stuff out. I'll be.
Yeah. We did, we can change it. No, there was nothing. So.
Tired of you?
Huh?
I went back and checked my bills and I did not. Water.
April. Yeah, you know how many people live? You know how.
You got water?
Post office or something.
How many do you do? Actually, we're supposed to.
A lot. You're signing the April 8th, but we have the correct.
Yeah, the definition yes. For sure. Properties.
Properties on one line, but.
This way, go this way.
This
I'm
was
trying to see where those mailboxes are. Oh, come on in.
final.
We're gonna have a temperature.
Taking my books down. I haven't had something on the.
Thank you.
Actually, it was.
Thank you for coming on board.
Absolutely. Look forward to it.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be here. You guys are awesome. Thank you for having me patient.
All right.
Thank you.
Everybody have more fun tonight.
That's impossible. You got a busted boat. How much fun can we have?
You got a motion for it?
Right now?
Well, it's.
Don't drive me what you're doing.
No, I just had this. I was blowing up out there. And I was trying to get the sails down and
Yeah.
one of the lines that drives the sail. Yeah, I left my machete by the shorts and, there were three lines to try to get some.
Where you going?
And I was trying to, and the boat was rocking and I'm trying to deal with it. It's like I was getting slapped around by all kinds of stuff.
Well, I
Felt like that's at work. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's,
Yeah.
well, he's, I don't know, they told me everything, and I'm like,
Yeah.
he says, I'm not you.
Yeah, or,
We yelled at each other.
But it's a very modest amount, so it's, you know, it's so not very much. Well, it's on my insurance, but I'm not gonna give much.
Well, the contract, well, the contract is due back. That's zero engineering, that's all contract. That's why I wanted to look at it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Their engineering, yes.
That's what I'm trying. Yeah. Maybe we can take this outdoor. I know a lot of very hungry, good engineering firms around the state who throw the price.
Looks like, so I brought it up, we're gonna have a last one. Well, here's how. So, 2,800, or no, 2,800.
Yeah.
But,
What's happening?
We don't have anything.
So, but that was just,
Yeah.
I mean, I remember the storm, I remember a few thoughts of like.
How do we do that? How do we fix that? That's kind of how it happened with the county and all the projects that they're doing. It's still on my desk, I'm just with somebody else.
Yes, exactly.
Well, yeah, I understand how that goes.
So you just won't be.
Well,
1980s.
I don't know if we need to detail.
I was
Was
just
it?
like, we're going. I actually used to stand here.
I know.
If I were to know myself, I was trying to learn those kids. Oh, we have to never go through.
Well, that's the thing.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Well, I mean, just when I saw it, first thing I
People
saw,
don't
they said
understand is
20%.
those folks understand.
I've yelled at consultants for throwing 10%, and I'm like, no, this is big enough of a project, I'm sure we get it. And I'll beat them on their hours. So, you know, I'm gonna go and say, hey, it's 20%. Give me the breakdown. Yeah. Oh, I mean, listen, there's a mess in me, that's fine. I think we have to do more RFQ and see some state qualifications. And the statute says.
Make that into. Make that into. No matter what.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think a couple $100,000.
Stay down there.
On, say, 1 to 2 months delay. Better than rushing it and then having to pay an extra $300,000.
So let me just ask you.
Oh, absolutely.
And you don't have to answer.
Yeah, see you over there.
But I remember talking, meeting about 6 months ago, talking about. And they started.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We got to wonder. Make sure you're the treasurer.
Yeah, I looked at him and I was like, we'll go through everything. That was cute. Have a good one, Clint.
You have to look at me.
Have him lined out.
You're oil.
Round to round.
I mean, I've known him forever. You know where you going over?
Yeah.
I just
Burns.
understand
I'm gonna get over.
Well, you guys have fun.
Yeah. No. Ready to say
Thank you guys.
This guy that called. Called about those significant. That doesn't